welcoming the Prime Minister. How to pay for the wall. I'm Evan Haining. Donald Trump is set to meet his first world leader since becoming president, and there are lots of issues to discuss.
NATO, fighting ISIS and terrorism, and a potential one-on-one trade agreement are the major topics as President Trump sits down with Britain's Prime Minister Theresa May. She's leading her nation through Brexit, the move out of the European Union, while a week ago Mr. Trump promised America first in his inaugural address. In that attitude, it's expected Mr. Trump and May will find areas of common ground. The U.S.-British alliance is always important, and maybe even more so in both leaders' new worldviews. Bob Costantini, the White House.
Trump is scheduled to speak by phone with Russian President Vladimir Putin this weekend. The Trump administration appears to be backing off a call for a 20% tariff on goods imported from Mexico. White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus now says the tax is just one of a buffet of options being considered to pay for the border wall. I'm Evan Haining. For the first time in years, opponents of abortion have some political momentum as they hold their annual rally on the National Mall.
Organizers of today's 44th annual March for Life in Washington say no president or vice president has ever spoken at the event, but this year that changes. Vice President Mike Pence will address the rally just after noon, and one of President Trump's top advisors, Kellyanne Conway, is also on the speakers list. President Trump has signed an executive order banning U.S. aid to foreign groups that provide abortions. And Republicans in Congress are now pushing to end all federal funding for Planned Parenthood and a ban on most abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy. Scott Carr, Washington.
A group of scientists in California say they've generated human cells in the embryos of pigs. A Salk Institute study says despite this milestone, developing human organs to save human lives will take much more time. The aim of the research is to grow human organs in animal bodies for people who need transplants. I'm Evan Haining.
At Discover, we believe anniversaries should be a time of celebration, not obligation. That's why we think annual fees are ridiculous. And now, just for giving us a try, we're going to give new card members a one-year anniversary gift they'll never forget. At the end of your first year, we'll match all the cash back you've earned dollar for dollar. No caps and no catches, because we know if you try us, you'll like us. And that's worth every penny. Try it and believe it at discover.com/match. Cashback match offer only for new card members. Limitations apply.
When you don't have a big marketing budget, you have to wait until the opportunity is just right. We'll consider this your opportunity alarm going off. Vistaprint semi-annual sale has arrived with up to 50% off site-wide. Connect more with 500 business cards starting at $9.99. Deliver more with 100 postcards starting at $9.99. Stand out more with one banner starting at $7.99. Make the most of this opportunity. Go to Vistaprint.com by January 31st and enter the promo code SAVEBIG.
A whopper of a drug-dealing operation has been fried.
Police in New Hampshire say 2 Burger King employees cooked up a scheme using code words to sell pot at the drive-thru. The Rockingham County Drug Task Force got a tip about drug sales at the restaurant, learning to ask if Nasty Boy was working, then to place an order for extra crispy fries. Once a customer left the drive-thru, they'd not only have their food, but they'd have some marijuana in a Burger King cup.
They should be fried. Extra crispy.
Police say Nasty Boy is the nickname of 20-year-old Garrett Norris. He and 19-year-old Megan Dearborn facing multiple charges after peddling their extra crispy fries to an undercover police officer. I'm TJ Cutini.
There are more questions about when Volkswagen officials actually had knowledge that VW software cheated on emissions tests. Well, German prosecutors say their evidence indicates CEO Martin Winterkorn may have known about the fraud earlier than he claims. There are now 37 suspects in the case. I'm Evan Haining.
And good morning, I am Pat George. It is 9:04. Your traffic and weather is next. You know, when your life is turned upside down because of an injury caused by someone else's negligence, call Pop and Gipe, a personal injury law firm. They'll protect your rights with aggressive representation. Pop and Gipe, 727-461-HELP, 727-461-4357, or log on to popandgipe.com. Hillsborough County, watch out for an accident on Big Bend Road, eastbound approaching I-75. Blockage is right near the ramps of I-75, so that's where it's going to slow you down. I-4 westbound, anywhere from the Selman Connector all the way from Ybor City to Ashley, a slow go. Same story on the Howard Franklin Bridge, a tad heavy exiting, but at least no accidents all morning long, both directions on the Howard Franklin. Courtney Campbell, Gandy. This report is brought to you by the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. The Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer is doctor recommended and backed by more medical studies than any other thermometer. Get yours at Target or other fine retailers today. Yep, the cool down is almost here. Not much higher than it is right now. Tampa 60, St. Pete 61.
When you think of a rock star, you see a guy with long hair, a guitar, and hit records. There's a new brand of rock stars, business rock stars. Your connection to move from business garage band to business rock star is the Business Rock Stars Show every weekday from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. on Money Talk 1010. Be a business rock star. Pat O'Brien, Mark Lack, and their supercharged guests will tell you how. It's the Business Rock Stars Show on Money Talk 1010 from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Tampa Bay's business address is Money Talk 1010 AM and available on HD at 99.5 HD2. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Money Talk 1010 AM. Tampa Bay's business address.
The program that follows has been paid for by Katrina Madewell. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of Katrina Madewell and are not those of Beasley Media Group, this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers.
Welcome to Tampa Home Talk with your host, native Tampa real estate girl, Katrina Madewell, a full-time, passionate, out-of-the-box thinker, love for home ownership kind of realtor with over 21 years of combined mortgage and real estate experience. Tune in every week at this time for expert advice on everything you need to know about home ownership, finance, maintaining great credit, building wealth, and making your everyday life better, and how you can be financially successful today and tomorrow. Remember, love where you live or let Katrina fix it. Now, here's your host of Tampa Home Talk, Katrina Madewell.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Tampa Home Talk. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell, and if it's your first time ever catching the show, the mission of our show is to help you keep, maintain great credit, live within your means, and build wealth. And we love to talk about stuff in and around the real estate space. And today's topic is, in fact, that. And we love to highlight and spotlight different communities that we bump up against when we're out in the field. And without further ado, I've got a couple of my counterparts and peers in the industry that are going to tell you all about the beautiful Bal Harbour. It's a waterfront community in Apollo Beach. And good morning, guys. I have Dave Moyer on the show and also Marisol Terry with Smith & Associates. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Samantha Gant is back there in the corner kind of hanging out. She's going to observe the show. She's also streaming live on her Facebook page, as are we. And you're going to have to do me a favor, Lisa, and help keep an eye on those because I can't. My faraway vision is just horrible the older I get. So if you're asking me questions, I will see them and we'll pop in there. Pat George will let us know what's going on. So let's talk about this beautiful waterfront community because, you know, I like the location, and I'll tell you why. For one, the open waters, not having to deal with those short canals. And for two, it's kind of close to Sarasota. So we've seen a lot of people that, you know, the husband and wife, maybe one works in Tampa, one's in Sarasota, and that's kind of a good location.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what's really nice about Bal Harbour is one of the very few opportunities to find a condominium, so a maintenance-free lifestyle environment with large square footage, which ours are range from about 2,000 to 3,000 square feet.
Dave, let's talk about that really quick, because don't glaze over that. When you say maintenance-free lifestyle community, explain to the person listening what that means, because someone might not realize exactly what you mean when you say that.
Sure. So, with single-family homes, it comes with a lot of maintenance, mowing the yard, taking care of the roof when it needs to be fixed, having to clean the pool. So with a condominium, it offers tons of amenities, like a fitness room or a club room, and a pool. And the whole home itself outside of your front door is maintained by the association.
And so the homeowner only has to maintain the inside, basically?
Correct. Yep.
And the HOA is actually covering the exterior as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because those policies can vary quite a bit from one community to the next.
Yeah. The biggest expense within the HOA fees are typically the exterior insurance policy. So as you're in water or areas that are more suspect to maybe more of an insurance risk, that's when the HOA, the insurance policies will be wrapped into it, and typically what drives a lot of a good portion of those fees.
So what are the price ranges like in this community? And how many units are left?
Yeah, the communities, we're down to about 10 homes remaining for sale, and they start at $389,000, which is for right around a little under 2,000 square feet. Typically, those are a 2-bedroom with a den or a 3-bedroom option. And then we do have large square footage on our top floors, which are 2-story kind of penthouse homes. And those are going to be closer to the 3,000 square feet in the low 500s.
And they do have direct water access, right? They have to purchase a boat slip. Is that how it works in the community?
Well, we have boat slips for sale. So the buyer could purchase a home without a boat slip if they opted to. So we have homes that are directly on the water, and we have homes that are a little bit off the water, but all of them offer water views. We have a pond that sits in the middle of the community that kind of breaks up some of the buildings. So there's several buildings in the community. And some front the water, and others are a little bit behind. And the values kind of showcase
of course.
That as well.
Yeah, that's like with anything, right? The more direct the view, the more higher the price.
But when you're not directly on it, you still have all the access to it. We have a lot of the common area space is centered around the water as well. So if you're at the pool, you've got the waterfront. So you don't necessarily lose that lifestyle by being directly off the water.
So what kind of boats do you have there in the community? Like, is there everything from sailboats to 40-foot boats, or like what's the capacity?
Well, I'm going to lead that with Marisol. Not only is she one of our lead agents in the property, she's actually owns there.
I know. And I please talk about that from a resident perspective, because we had a chance to chat a little bit before the show. And I think, when we do these community spotlights, it's awesome to talk about them. But I love it when someone actually lives there and they can talk about what it's like to live there, right? Because when I sell a property in my neighborhood, I'm going to tell you everything about it because I know all about it.
Sure, and what is not to like about Bella Sol? One of the main things is that you have these elevated water views that you would never get on a single home. And you have the resort-style amenities. You got a pool, the spa, the gym, the clubhouse, and those are overlook of the water. You can own a boat slip and have a boat with just a few steps away from your unit. Take your boat out, and within 2 to 3 minutes, you're right there in the open water, Tampa Bay.
So how long have you lived there in the community?
Since 2010.
Okay, so wow, 7 years.
7 years.
Were you one of the early purchasers in there?
Not the early ones, but we've been there since 2010, and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
So you probably got in when the prices were just about right, because they were still dipping downward a little bit there. So it was a good time to buy.
I can't complain. It was good.
So your pastime, is that hanging on the boat on the weekend with your neighbors?
Yes. If you own a boat or you have a neighbor, can take you on a boat, you can take your boat out across the bay, and you can be from Bella Sol to the downtown St. Pete public marina within 25, 30 minutes. The same distance and time would take you to go to the downtown Tampa. From Bella Sol to the downtown St. Pete in Tampa is literally 13, 14 miles. So you can just cruise around.
It's interesting. You look at the map of Tampa Bay. I don't know if you ever thought about this, but I've looked at the map of Tampa Bay before and seen like some of these communities that have boat slips and thought, what if somebody works in downtown and they wanted to commute by boat? Like it would be pretty cool, because think about it. If you're in Apollo Beach and you could commute to downtown by boat and you didn't have to drive all the way around to get to downtown, that'd be pretty cool. Tampa would be a community to talk about.
You can take your boat across and go to the MacDill Marina and dock your boat there, and you walk to your building.
Isn't that restricted for Air Force or no?
You have to have the permit and the IDs.
Also, it is an option to commute by boat to work. Look at that.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And regarding the boat slips, we have different sizes. Some of them, of course, are larger than others, but it can accommodate sailboats, inboard boats, 22-footer, up to 30, 33 feet. So you have a large range of possibilities.
And that is a pretty good-sized boat, I know, because we own a 30-foot boat, and it is a monster. It takes two of us to launch it, and we don't live on the water, so it's quite a task to put it in and go out.
Plus, we had deep waters in Bal Harbour, so you don't have to worry about the low tide. And like I mentioned before, you literally just turn around outside Bella Sol, and you're right there in the open Tampa Bay.
What's your favorite part about living in the community?
Many. Just the access to the water. If you like canoeing, kayaking, paddle boating, it's right there in front of you. We also have a couple of restaurants within walking distance. One is a fine eating restaurant right there at waterfront. So we have a lot of access to things to do outdoors. If you love water and you're looking for a real waterfront property, Bella Sol is the place to be at.
And I tell you, I've lived here. I was born and raised in Tampa. I've lived here my whole life. And there's not many of us. But I can tell you, I've watched areas really grow and explode, including Brandon. Like I remember when that was nothing but cow pastures and the mall wasn't there. That whole area is going to be totally different in 20 years.
Absolutely.
I probably won't even take it that long. I think you're looking at 10 to 15 years, but it's certainly going to shift, I think. You got big companies like Amazon that just built this massive, 20,000 or larger, I think, square foot building.
Yeah, one of our last purchasers is actually was moving to the area because of Amazon. So it is a big factor into it. And again, there's just not a lot of opportunities on the waterfront in general.
So where are you seeing people move from?
We do get a lot from the north to the south, just like anywhere else. And we happen to have a lot of buyers who have been in Brandon and Sarasota in a single-family home. Kids are off to college and ready to downsize, and they still have the boat, and they don't, they want to be able to visit their children somewhere else.
Well, the interesting thing about those two areas that you mentioned is Sarasota is going to be busy, but it's also going to be very, very expensive. And then Brandon is, there's a lot of stuff there, but it's so congested.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Apollo Beach offers that little bit of a slower, relaxed lifestyle. And there's still plenty of stuff nearby. And there's more and more stuff coming, right?
Yeah.
Marisol?
Yes, we have a brand new hospital just down the road. So not only the residential area is growing, but also the commercial and the healthcare, is also growing around the area.
So you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. Thanks for sticking with us today. We're going to come back after the break. And when we do, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the things you'll find in the community, the HOA fees you can expect to pay, and a little bit more. If you've got a question about the community or for us, you can reach us at 888-404-1010. Again, our studio call-in line is 888-404-1010. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk on Money Talk 1010. We'll be back in just a moment. Just reminded me 103.
Thanks for joining us on Money Talk 1010. You hear us talking about being available on FM at 99.5 HD2. HD Radio is a recent addition to the FM dial, creating more radio stations by splitting signals. At Beasley Media, we split our 99.5 signal and put the programming from Money Talk on the second channel. Many cars manufactured in the last 10 years have HD radios. Check out your owner's manual. You can also buy HD radios at electronics stores. Now, some clerks are confused. Tell them it's not satellite radio. Check us out at 99.5 FM HD2.
The Dave Ramsey Show, where common sense meets dollars and cents.
If you're 24 years old and you make $26,000 a year, let me help you with this. You buy a $3,000 car that you pay cash for. Then you got the rest of your life free, and you do something to work on your marketabilities. When you're 24, it's okay to be working the front desk at a clinic, making $26,000 a year. By the way, when you're 34, though, son, you need to be doing something else. But when you work the front desk at a clinic and you're 24 years old, you don't deserve a new car because you don't have the money for a new car.
Dave Ramsey, weekdays 2 to 5 on Money Talk 1010, Tampa Bay's business address.
Well, I'll tell you something. It's been going great this month. That cruise for two, that cruise with Huge 2017 on that beautiful Navigator of the Seas down to Central America. People are coming in, Abby, from everywhere. But you know what?
You upped it up a little bit with that cruise ship this month, Billy.
Let me tell you something. Now till the end of the month, what we're going to do is we're not only going to give you a trip for two, folks. Okay. That's right, a $2,000 value. Other than the rebates we're going to give you, other than the discounts we're going to give you,
right.
Guess what? I'm going to match up to $1,000 out of my own pocket. So if you put down $800, I'm going to give you $800.
People are already calling in for it.
If you put down $800, I'm going to give you $800. If you put down $1,000, I'm going to give you $1,000. Whatever it takes, folks. Don't miss the opportunity. Now to the end, Abby, I'm pumped up about this deal.
Including with the purchase or lease of any new Kia from Facillo Kia.
Somebody's calling in right now here.
Cruise. Billy's going to match your down payment up to $1,000, and you may be even ripping up some contracts.
I'll tell you something. Don't miss the opportunity. All over Southwest Florida, up in Tampa, it's going to be huge.
Welcome back, and thanks for chiming in here and listening to Tampa Home Talk. We're glad to have you today, and we hope to make your morning drive time a little bit more fun, or if you're just chugging around there in the car in between appointments like me, a lot of the time, we appreciate you tuning in.
I got a question.
No questions for you today, Pat.
This
You're
whole
fresh
Bella
out.
Soul down by the water, have they seen any pirates lately?
You can always count on Pat George to add some spice to the
Are
radio.
there pirates in the neighborhood?
You can dress up as a pirate.
You know, he just had Flash and Michelle in the studio, so...
Oh, we just had pirates here. So,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure
the
some
whole
of
city is under siege.
I'm sure some of these boats that are kind of come from our community are going to be right in the bay celebrating tomorrow.
It is pretty down along Apollo Beach. I have friends that live right in that area, and if I was going to live anywhere other than North Tampa, because that's where I'm at now, it would be the Apollo Beach area because it is so convenient. You have I-75 right there, and you can go anywhere. And from where I live up around Ehrlich and Lynn Turner area, up by the Suncoast and the Veterans, I can get to Apollo Beach, traffic and everything on a nice Sunday, 30 minutes all the way down there because it's free-flowing on the interstates. It's a direct route, so it's a nice place.
Yeah, it's some of the more congested areas are up towards Pasco and Brandon,
Yes, back in the day when it wasn't up in Pasco, it is there now. So, yes, I have lots of friends that live further north than the Ehrlich exits on Suncoast, and they're telling us that they don't even move around Lutz Lake Fern sometimes.
It used to just fly. Even on the Veterans, it would just, pew, you'd fly. And now it's stacked when you get on. And I thought the traffic was going to slow down a little bit after the holidays when the mall was built, but it
I
really
have some
didn't.
friends in the Sarasota-Bradenton area, and they were looking for places to live close to Tampa, and they chose the exits off around Apollo Beach. They, because they knew they were close to the outlet mall, they were close to the interstate, and they could jump on and be in downtown Tampa in, 12 minutes, 15 minutes or less?
And Michelle Herndon, she's one of my real estate friends actually watching the show. I know she lives in Apollo Beach, and so she was commenting on it as well, saying that it's, Apollo Beach is one of your biggest bang for your buck, especially if you're looking at waterfront. I think the challenge is, and correct me if I'm wrong, speaking about the Apollo Beach market, people want to live where there's stuff. And so they're still building stuff. And so if you get in at the beginning stage of that, typically you're going to get a bargain, and the rates are fabulous right now. So would you say that's some of the challenges you have? There's not a whole lot of stuff just yet out there. I mean, there's some stuff coming, like the hospital was built.
Absolutely. I mean, it is the value. That's the driver is these single-family homes that are on the waterfront would be untouchable in most parts of Tampa Bay, and they're reasonably priced in Apollo Beach. And same thing with our condos. We represent developments around downtown St. Pete and Snell Isle, a pretty comparable lifestyle product community, and they're around the $900,000 mark.
Excellent point.
So it's about a double the price point. And
so do you shift people sometimes that are coming in curious, looking at those neighborhoods over to Bella Sol?
We would love to. It's a challenge because some folks are, everyone's so market driven. They're looking at specific locations for a reason. And but if they are really motivated on the boat or some of those specific features, that's when you can really kind of turn them into some other options.
Yeah, and so the community. When were these built? How old are they?
It was a good Marisol question as well, but I believe that a lot of them were
not like throwing you right on the spot, right?
Well, it was built during the height of the market around 2007, 2008, I believe, is when they started completing them.
Is it one of those communities where it kind of went stagnant for a while and they came back in, the developers, and finished them off?
Yeah, pretty similar. There was basically we represent 3 of the newer buildings that were built, so they are actually pad by pad, and so these last 2 buildings that we're representing are brand new. In the community in comparison to the 2007.
We've seen that. A lot of people don't, but they may not realize. There's some neighborhoods that were started, and some of the builders either went belly up and were totally gone, or just stopped building for a while in the crash of the market, and then now they're coming back. They're re-permitting, they're adding, so you'll see a substantial difference in age in some of these communities, sometimes as much as 10 years or so.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this really interesting is the interiors of these homes are all brand new. They're newly with new COs, so they're all permitted.
Which
all to
CO,
the new
certificate of occupancy. It's when it's all done by the county and you can actually move in.
Yep, absolutely.
That's the real estate people. We're the worst at jargon, so I try to keep that straight for you guys.
So it really, and they come with a new home warranty. So a lot of these features. So when you see maybe existing resales in the community, there's a little bit more value into the newer because of the warranties and some of the newer products that are. More of the finishes are to that modern style.
Well, let's face it. When the components are 10 years old, you might be looking at replacing an air conditioner or a hot water heater or something like that.
Yep.
What's the warranty like?
Well, the warranties pretty much, we have a contractor on site, and they cover almost all details for the first year. And then they extend. Typically, the homeowners may get their own home warranty to extend further, but appliances are brand new, so those have their own warranties as well. So a lot of those items are covered.
And how many units you guys have left in here?
Just 10.
10?
Yep.
Wow. And the price range is, again, starting in the 300s, or was it lower?
Yeah, so we really have two styles of homes. The standard are the closer to 2,000 square feet. Those are going to be in the high 300s, so 389 to right at 400,000. And then on the top floor, they're two-level penthouses, and those are what is in the low 500s, but you're gaining almost an additional 1,000 square feet in most cases. They have an upstairs loft space and just larger.
And there's everything from 2 to 4 bedrooms.
Correct. Yeah, most of them, even those 2 bedrooms, offer an additional room.
Well, it's almost 2,000 square feet. I'm looking at your sheet.
Yeah,
it's pretty good size.
They're big. And it really in the condo market, especially kind of stemming from downtown Tampa and down to that area, the square footages are usually 1,000 square feet or 1,500 square feet, which isn't large enough for people that are downsizing. And that's more of our demographic than anything else.
Yeah, 1,000 square foot is small.
Yeah, that's
we actually did a show quite a while back on tiny homes, and we're talking 400 or 500 square foot places, and it was so amazing. And we did it actually before it was mainstream and they had the TV show, but it was fun. It was just such a different show, and it's 1,000 square feet is small. Most people I know downsizing, I don't know if they could quite make 1,000 square feet.
Yeah,
because it's so different. So what's your favorite part about the whole community? Like when you think about the residents and the people that live there and the amenities, where do you see most of the people on the weekends?
At the pool. We have a beautiful amenities overlooking at the water. Nice clubhouse with a kitchen, a refrigerator, an ice maker. And the amenities, all of them have a water view that's very relaxing. So you either, jump into a boat or a jet ski or just lay down by the pool. We have a nice gym. In the premises, so it's really relaxing. You can do as much as you want. The neighbors are really friendly. It's a very
What's the age demographic in the neighborhood? Like, what's some of the youngest residents in there, and who are some of the oldest ones? Just a rough guess.
It's a little bit of everything. I would say, early 30s to 50s, 60s, and we have a little bit of everything.
That's nice. Is there any kids in the neighborhood?
Yes, there are some.
A few.
Yes, there's a few.
So who's your competition in the neighborhood? Like, is there any other neighboring communities like this one that are your competition, whether they're higher or less?
I think it's a mix, really, because there is no condos in that market that are comparable. There's no waterfront condos in this square footage. So that's what makes it challenging for us as well to kind of give it value, because we're competing with single-family homes and townhomes and potentially other areas, not necessarily condos in this market. So someone could opt to find a single-family home instead, or maybe a townhome in Riverview or some of those other markets.
But those are going to be like the newer neighborhood cookie-cutter communities, right? Nothing really waterfront.
Correct, yeah. So from us, there's Mira Bay, which is a community nearby, but it certainly is a different product.
And it's older, too.
It is, yeah.
It's been around for a while.
It's a master plan community. And again, that's two different lifestyles. Our communities very much is what it is. It's Bel Sol. It's its own neighborhood, and Mira Bay's a giant. So not only are single family houses, townhouses, it's much larger, and CDDs and other things that kind of grow with it.
So I know we talked about the range in price, and we've talked a little bit about the view and how that will change. But let's explain to the person listening the difference between water view, water access, waterfront, and how that changes with the price. So, like, for example, on your inventory sheet here, Dave, give me an example of something that has a waterfront view, and then Marisol, maybe you can tell me what that looks like.
Oh, I wish I had a little map
Is
diagram.
No, you don't know where the units are exactly?
No. Building 5 and Building 4.
You can probably gauge based on the price, though, right?
Yeah, Building 5 and Building 4 are not on waterfront. They're water view. They're basically... again, there's a pond in the middle of the community, and it goes Building 1, 2, 3, 4.
So they're getting a view of the pond with the access to the water?
Exactly. They're going to have water views from pretty much all of the homes, and so we have them on the second floor, the third floor, and the fourth floor. And the fourth floor is actually 2 stories. And they will all give you access, water views. However, it's not directly on the water. So you're going to have a pond view, you're going to have the amenity deck view, and then you also have the water view.
And so what's the price range for the ones on the pond?
These are, again, $389 starting.
Okay. Awesome. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about a few of those higher end priced ones. And we'll also talk about how much a boat slip will cost you if you are an avid boater and you'd like to purchase one of those and you're thinking about the beautiful community of Bel Sol. We'd love to help you out. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. And if you're thinking about purchasing a home in the near future, stick around, because we are going to have some specific incentives just for our listeners here on Tampa Home Talk. Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment.
Well, it is 9:30. Your traffic and weather's next. You know, a car accident can instantly change your life. Call Papa and Guype, personal injury law firm. They'll take you through the steps to turn it all back around. 727-461-HELP, 727-461-4357. Or log on to papaandguype.com. Got an accident in Hillsborough County still. We told you about this in the last report. It's off to the side now. That's good news. Big Bend Road eastbound approaching I-75 down in the Bella Sol area. 275 anywhere from the Howard Franklin Bridge north up to about West Shore. Still a slow go coming out of Pinellas County, but at least no accidents there. The interchange is doing nice. Sunset Point Road at Keene, watch out for an accident just occurred. And this report is brought to you by Just Brakes. Need new brakes for a limited time at Just Brakes? Your brake pads are free when installed by Just Brakes. Technician, that's the one who'll do it. From the brake store that gives you more. Visit justbrakes.com for free brake pads today. Don't miss it. High only 67 today.
Elder Ford of Tampa is giving you more reasons to buy America's best-selling brand, like 0% financing for 72 months with thousands cash back on F-150s, Explorers, Fusions, Escapes, and more. Plus incredible lease deals like a 2016 F-150 for $329 a month or a 2017 Escape for $209 a month. Want more reasons to buy at Elder Ford of Tampa? How about guaranteed credit approval and a nationwide lifetime warranty? So start off the new year in a new Ford from Elder Ford of Tampa, North Florida Avenue, or online at elderfordoftampa.com.
Who's got the worst traffic in America? No big surprise. It's Los Angeles. Miami is 7th. And in a virtual tie for 13th are Atlanta, San Diego, and Tampa. Here in Tampa Bay, we're all in this together. So let's help each other. When you see traffic issues, call Pat George on the Money Talk 1010 Traffic Ranger line. 888-404-1010. That's 888-404-1010. Program the number into your phone under Money Talk so you can voice dial Pat and keep your hands on the wheel. 888-404-1010.
Are you looking for your next home? The truth is that most buyers want a home, not a real estate agent. I understand, but factually, you need an experienced agent on your team like me. I'm Katrina Madewell with Keller Williams Realty, host of Tampa Home Talk, and I've been in the real estate and mortgage industry selling homes for more than 23 years, and it would be our pleasure to help you find your next home. Love where you live, or I'll fix it. Welcome home. 813-936-2302. 813-936-2302.
My name is Samantha Taylor, and my goal is to help you get more healthy and fit and enjoy the skin that you are in. It is time for you to get results. Call 813-377-2255. Again, that number is 377-2255. Kathy was sick of feeling overweight, tired, and not sleeping. She came to us because she needed help. My name is Samantha Taylor. I'm a health and wellness expert that's trained over 5,000 women in this community. For more information, call 813-377-2255.
Here's a recipe for some fun. Take 2 microphones and a telephone. Then mix in a redneck like Q105's Mason Dixon and a former Army sergeant and radio guy like Charlie Oakes. Put them on the radio every day at 11 a.m. Turn them loose, then open up the phone lines to add spice with your comments. The result is an entertaining hour on Mason Dixon Wide Open with the Sarge. You can be part of the show every Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. till noon on Money Talk 1010. Your toll-free number to call in is 888-404-1010. They'll be talking about whatever's on their minds and your mind. And with these two, you never know where that'll take them. No subject is going to be out of bounds. Just keep it clean. The subjects go from political talk to what's happening in Tampa Bay. And they love anything with wheels and an engine, so cars will always be a subject. Listen to Money Talk 1010 every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. for Mason Dixon Wide Open with the Sarge on Money Talk 1010.
Welcome back. And you're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. Our special guests today are Dave Moyer, Marisol Terry, and also Samantha Gant. And we are covering the beautiful waterfront community of Bella Sol. Today's a community spotlight, and if you'd like to reach us at our off-air number, it's 813-936-2302. Again, our office line is 813-936-2302. If you have any questions on this community or another, or you'd like to get more information on your home, we can help you with that. And I keep forgetting to tell you, the person listening, if you're catching us on our AM dial 1010, there's an FM channel that has been added to the lineup. In case you didn't hear the commercials, we're now on 103.1 FM, and there's another one coming, right? Which we're not announcing yet, but it's coming. And of course, we're still on HD radio at 99.5 FM 2, the second signal. And great show today, guys. I've really had a lot of fun talking about the stuff with you. And we were talking before the break about the difference in the price and what you can get, and water view versus waterfront. And these are classified as condos. However, they have garages.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you pull into the community, it's a gated community, so it's nice and secure. And you're actually, the first level is your own personal 2-car garage, which you could also store paddle boards and other type of equipment that you want. So
is there any living space on the first floor or no?
No. So when you pull into your garage, you access out, and then there's a private elevator for each building that'll lead up to your level. So if you lived on the second floor, you take the elevator up to the second floor. And when you walk into your home, there's actually a front porch to it as well. So an outdoor porch area that leads into your home.
And is there balconies? Like, what's the setup on this? Describe to me. Are they all pretty much set up the same way with a garage at the bottom? And are they 1 story or 2?
Yep. So every residence will have the garage on the first floor, and all of them are 2-car garages. And as they go up to the elevator, they all have front porches. So as the elevator leads out, there's a hallway, and it's actually an outdoor hallway with an outdoor front porch. So you actually have your own private gate that you lead into your home. And then as you walk through your actual home, there's a balcony that faces towards the water. So not only does it have a balcony, it has a porch patio space.
So how substantially different are the views on the 4th floor versus the second?
The 4th floor obviously is higher up, and you're above some of the trees. So it's pretty substantial, I'd say. But even on the 2nd floor, you'll still get a great view.
And on the 4th floors, as opposed to the garage on the bottom and then 1-story living, is that correct? This one actually has 2?
Correct. Yeah. So as you get to the 4th floor, it's 2 full levels. So the living space, or the main living space, is still on the 1st floor. So the kitchen, the owner's suite, the guest room, and then the upstairs is more or less an open loft exposure. So these homes will give you volume ceiling heights, and then that additional flexibility to either have work upstairs or use that as more of a guest room or guest area.
Yeah, it's interesting, and you guys have some really great specials going on right now that I really want to talk about, because I know the prices are going to range anywhere from $389 to like $600, 2-bedroom up to 4-bedroom, and the square footage is dramatic as 2,000 to 3,700. So it's a pretty big spread there in the unit that you're going to get. But you guys have a special going on now, whether it lasts a day or a month. It's the next 3 contracts will have 50% off a boat slip if they want to buy it?
Yep. Yeah, we have some boat slips that are available, and it seems to be one of the driving forces and reasons for the purchases. So we've discounted the boat slips for the next 4 deals. However, we have sold one recently, so we're down to 3. And those slips are going to be starting around $50,000 to about $75,000.
And so it would be half off that price?
Correct. Yep.
Awesome. And now there's a little bit extra cost, right? If you own the boat slip, and they're deeded, I presume. Yeah. So with the boat assignment, it's almost like a separate transaction in some degree. They have their own governance of how maintenance from electricity and some of those uses are formed, but it's not a substantial fee. Which, when you think about it, it's kind of fair, from an HOA perspective, because not everyone that lives in there might want to pay for the boat slips if they're not a boater. Let's say they just want the waterfront lifestyle, but they have no desire to own a boat. It's kind of nice, because then those people don't actually pay for the boat. It's only the people that have the boat and launch it.
Perfect world, right?
Yeah. And how much are the fees monthly?
For the boat slips, it's $70, and that covers the maintenance, the exterior insurance, electricity, and water.
Which, you got to hose those boats off. And that kind of. Do they have lifts, any of them, boat lifts?
You can add a lift, absolutely.
Awesome. So the 4 bedrooms, tell me about what's the Rockstar unit you have left? It's probably the most expensive one, but which one's available that's like, Marisol, when you walk there, it's the first unit you're going to show me. Which one is that?
Well, I would pick unit 4, 2, or 3. It's around 2,200 square feet. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and it's going around $399. So that's you get definitely a lot for your money in there. Nice water views.
What's the setup on that? Is it like a split bedroom floor plan? What's the setup?
3 bedrooms with a bedroom that it can be used as a bedroom or a den. So it's technically 4 bedrooms, however you want to use it. All the appliances are included, including the washer and dryer. And you have granite countertops and throughout the entire unit. Tile floors, brand new cabinets.
And the units are all done, right? There's no more customization. Everything's all finished. Is that correct?
Yes, they are complete.
And how many total did you have left?
10.
That's it? 10 units? I thought you had more. 10?
What's
We've been selling.
What's also nice about them is there's 3 homes per floor level. So 2 of those homes are always corners. So everyone loves a corner because you don't have another neighbor next door to you. And you also get... you gain some extra windows, which gives you a lot of natural light. And so a lot of condo lifestyle, you don't get the windows, or not everyone could be a corner. So the majority of our homes are corner homes.
How are they set up? Do they have like corner balconies or anything too? Or
they're not corner balconies. The layouts are really open. So the kitchen lays out open to the dining, which opens to the living, and then the balcony's off of it. And then on the same side, the master suite is connected to it as well.
It's interesting too, because we were talking before the show, Marisol, and the HOA fees in the community. Some people might look at it and go, "Wow, $650 a month for an HOA fee," but really it covers a lot. Because if you were to purchase a single family home on the water, your flood insurance alone would probably be a pretty substantial cost.
Absolutely, it does cover a lot. It covers building exterior, flood insurance, ground maintenance.
So this is going to include the roof, painting. Exterior, if a hurricane comes and wipes it out, it's going to take care of all that stuff.
Future reserves, as much as the insurance policy will pick up. But yeah, it's covering all of the basics as well as cable.
You laugh, but I know you hear this question from people that move from other cities and states. They're like, what about the hurricanes? Well, Tampa always dodges. It's like some seminal blessing that they put on the Tampa area where the storms kind of go around us for the most part.
Well, typically anything in the condo world that's built after 2005 is up to the greatest and latest hurricane style code. So with that being said, this is a concrete exterior building.
Is that all the way up?
All the way up.
Yeah,
wow,
that's
all the way
great.
up, and then you've got the hurricane rated windows as well.
And do they have storm shutters or anything, or they just put in the storm windows?
The windows themselves, they're hurricane rated. Typically, those are up to 120 miles per hour.
That's what I was thinking, 125, 150, something like that. I couldn't recall. So talk about just a few other things in the community. Is there anything we didn't mention? I think there's, you have a cabana area too, right? And some common spaces. Is there a clubhouse or anything?
Yeah, there is a clubhouse, and which would have, they have ice that could be made for any of the boaters, so you could actually get your ice right out of it. That's a pretty cool feature for anybody who's a boater. And then they have...
Yeah, because you don't have to go to the store to get ice. Yeah. I mean, everybody takes a cooler in the boat.
I hate to be the first person in the morning takes it all. But then you've got a fitness space, which is nice to keep your exercise. And then you've got a huge pool that's open to the water. So, when you have your guests and your family to come and grill outside, it's such a beautiful scene. With the boat slip as well, and then having the gated secured entrance point, it's just really the standard amenities that you need in a luxury resort style.
And for a lot of people, when they downsize, like I had lunch yesterday with a customer, and her husband's been kind of sick, like in and out of the hospital, and they love their home that they're in, but she said, if anything happened to him, I wouldn't live here anymore. They would move. They would choose a maintenance-free type community.
One of the things that I think is incredible is the sunset views from that community. They're just stunning, gorgeous. I haven't seen, other than Key West and probably Hawaii, anything that it will compare to that.
And that's what people pay for. Like that's where the real value is.
You can see that every day. Gorgeous.
And then so the HOA fees, I know it's a little hefty, but it covers a lot. And so I think it's not, it's important not to lose sight of that, because if you had to pay somebody to come, clean the pool, maintain it, fix anything that's broken, mow the lawn, your master insurance policy, your flood insurance, gym membership. I mean, that's a lot of stuff.
Basic cable is also included. Water and sewer is also included.
So they don't have anything extra except for their power and their internet, right? Mm-hmm. Is that the only 2 extra costs?
Yeah, most of the buyers would have a content insurance policy. That would be something
drywall in.
Yep. But other than that, it's pretty much it's covered. The HOA meets regularly, and in those meetings they talk about the budget and some of the potential changes and what they want. So it's one of the few. All communities aren't equal; they're not all the same. But I think that it has a really engaged homeowners that are really interested in improving the community. So. That also speaks to the fees, is that, the landscapers go there quite more regularly than maybe some other communities that maybe are hands off. So
is it managed by the people that live there, or is it professionally managed?
They have a property management who take care of the community. They also have someone working. I can't remember if it is a full-time, but at least 3 to 4 times a week. They're on the property, painting, cleaning, doing touch-ups. So it's well maintained.
There is a property management company. It's CAMS.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. Are they on-site or off-site?
Right. They're outside. But
off-site,
they have people working, maintaining the community every day.
Awesome. So let's talk about this incentive, because I know a lot of times you guys will give special realtor incentives, but we love to give back. So, if you are thinking about this community of Bella Sol and you're listening to Tampa Home Talk, and call us or mention my name, and we'll represent you for a contract. We're going to give you an extra $2,500 off of whatever you want. You can buy a flat screen TV if you're paying cash. I don't care.
Okay.
Fair enough? It's a good incentive. Anything extra we can add? Can we squeeze anything out of developers?
Well, the owners are offering a $5,000 agent bonus for any agents that bring in a qualified buyer that makes a transaction. And again, that was for the next 4 deals, and now we're moved down to 3, and hopefully we'll be down to 2 soon.
Awesome. So if you'd like to check out the community, I'd be happy to take you and introduce you to Marisol and get you connected with Dave, and we'll show you the units they have available. You can reach us at 813-936-2302. Again, our off-air number is 813-936-2302. And don't forget to catch us on our new FM station, 103.1. Pat Torta so happy. He's nodding his head in approval that I remembered and didn't keep jabbering. So welcome to the show, and we look to bring you guys some value. And, I just want to give a shout out to a couple guests that came to the Vision Board workshop last week. It was so great to meet you guys off air. I just want to say that, and a couple of them didn't even know that I was the host. I don't know who they thought I was, but it was fun. So call us. Any questions? 888-404-1010. Studio call-in line 888-404-1010. We'll be back in just a minute.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it, so can you.
For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Being healthy is a choice. It's something that we have to choose every day. You've got to make health and wellness a priority. And if you don't, you will pay the consequences physically, mentally. You will regret it. My name is Samantha Taylor, health and fitness expert, and my goal is to help you get healthy and lose weight and keep it off. It is time for you to get results. Call 813-377-2255. Again, that number is 377-2255.
I'm Katrina Madewell with Keller Williams Realty and Tampa Home Talk. And for more than 23 years, we have been helping homeowners sell. Flexible terms with the rate to sell it yourself. Let my results speak.
They were able to get us a full price offer and a contract in our house in 9 days.
I just wanted to express my gratitude in finding a cash buyer for my property in less than 24 hours.
I'm not bragging. I'm applying for a job. I want to be your realtor. Call 813-777-1196. Thank you.
Debt is dumb. Dave Ramsey tells you why.
The best vacations I've ever had are ones that don't follow me home. The best food I have ever eaten is food that I could afford. It's no fun going to an expensive dinner, knowing the whole time, it gives you indigestion, knowing the whole time that you can't afford it. So, just kind of put it in the ratio situation and make it a reasonable thing in your world.
Dave Ramsey, weekdays 2 to 5 on Money Talk 1010, Tampa Bay's business address. The radio station you're listening to is Tampa Bay's business address, Money Talk 1010, transmitting from Florida's Sun Coast. Our addresses are 1010 on the AM radio dial, 99.5 HD2 on the FM dial, and worldwide on our website, moneytalk1010.com, or on the free Money Talk 1010 app in the App Store. Money Talk 1010 is about your life, your love, your relationships, and especially your money. Shows about business, real estate, investments, and dealing with the pressures of living in the digital age. Information for you as you travel around Tampa Bay or anywhere in the world, as the Bay Area becomes a center for worldwide business. Transmitting from Florida Suncoast at 1010 on the AM dial and 99.5 HD2 on the FM dial. Around the world on our website, moneytalk1010.com, and on the free Money Talk 1010 app in the App Store. 1010 AM, 99.5 HD2, moneytalk1010.com, and the free Money Talk 1010 app.
Welcome back. This is Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. Thanks for hanging with us through the break. Our special guests today are Dave Moyer, Marisol Terry. We have Samantha Gant back there hanging out in the background. And we're featuring the community of Bella Sol on today's show. Beautiful waterfront living at its finest. Maintenance-free community. Pretty amazing. We'd love to give you guys a tour. If you missed this show, you can catch it in its entirety via a podcast. We'll get that posted up for you as quickly as possible. And we also stream on our Facebook page, which is Tampa Home Talk, and we'll post our guest information on there as well. So financing. Thank you, Samantha. Excellent point. She brought that up over the break, and we didn't actually go into that yet. But, you know, condos have been taboo pretty much since the housing market collapse. So I think it's really important that we bring up financing because it's a Fannie Mae approved community, right?
Yeah.
Easy to get a loan in there.
Yes. Getting a Fannie Mae approval is somewhat of a challenge for other condominiums because they have to, fit every box. So there has to be X amount of sales. There have to be X amount of people that live there as primary or second homes. And so all of these boxes have been checked, which means that these, which definitely means that this opportunity, this condominium offering is a Fannie Mae approved building, which allows anybody to get conventional financing. So if you met with your mortgage lender and they gave you some terms, typically that translates perfectly into our condo.
Yeah, and people have a misconception that you need a large down payment to purchase a home, and really you don't. I mean, Fannie Mae has programs starting as low as 3 or 5% down. Now, you do have to have a job and an ability to repay the loan and, all that crazy stuff that wasn't really required before the housing market collapsed, which is why it is now. And Samantha's laughing, but really it's the truth. Like I joke around about it, but that's, they'll never write loans like that again. So that's the benefit of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe one of our buyers more recently, purchased one of our homes that was under $400,000 with a 5% loan structure.
And they do have some of those too with no MI. I know I've seen the lender paid MI with a rate slightly higher, so you can take the tax deduction and not pay any PMI. And so for the person listening, PMI only insures the lender against default. It doesn't do anything for you. It's not homeowners insurance. It's not contents insurance. It's not death insurance. It only insures the lender in case you default. So it's really clear on that because a lot of times I think people mix up PMI for like a death benefit, and it's not.
Absolutely.
Granted, if no one's there, the lender's going to get paid, but it doesn't pay off the house or anything like that. So a couple of things I want to mention, just the highlights on the community we were talking about during the break, and these are certainly excellent highlights. Even if you're not thinking about buying a home right now, you should go check out these areas. And the Manatee Viewing Station is right there at Tico Power Plant. There's a beach. I mean, there's quite a few things in and around there. There's restaurants, so people think there's nothing in Apollo Beach. There really are some restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, every time someone comes to visit us in Florida, they always want to see a manatee. So, it's always natural to just go to Apollo Beach because every day you'll find one. And it's just so fun just to kind of see them out there. So we were featuring that as something, or we were talking about it just because, in my own personal life, my wife's friends are in town and they're going to go there today. So.
And this is the time of year to look at them.
Oh, my gosh,
right?
yeah.
Because they're all coming up here because the water's
warm, yep.
And it's about that time, isn't it, Pat? No? You're shaking my head? That means you'll have the music queued up? All right, so listen, I'm going to tell you about a house that we have. Little bit different of a scenario. And, I can't believe the sucker hasn't moved. It's in Fishhawk. How expensive is Fishhawk, you guys? I'm sure you know the prices there. And I think it gets missed. Like these condos and townhomes. Please tell FedEx to go away. I'm right in the middle of talking, will you? That was the doorbell for you Facebookers. I'm sorry, you probably didn't hear that. But they get missed. And so, single family stuff like this condo, townhome, it's actually classified as both, would go probably for $400,000. 2-car garage, all kinds of stuff. It's $190,000, and the owner will allow lease purchase lease option, which is like unheard of in this market. So if you'd like information on that, you can call me at 813-936-2302, or if you're interested in Bella Soul, I'm going to give you $2,500. 813-936-2302. And so my real estate tip of the week for this week, which is what the doorbell was, is all waterfront communities are not alike. Would you agree with that?
Totally.
So it's interesting because you can look at waterfront from in our area, Newport, Richie, down, and they're very, very different. The color of the water is different. The depth of the water is different, and the prices are very different. So while, this community might sound a little expensive for some, to get a boat the size that you can of this community out there, you're going to pay for that. And so to live in a waterfront community for under $400,000 is almost unheard of. You're not going to find that in Pinellas.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Some of your other communities are priced where?
This is like $190 per square foot. So when we talk about real estate values, in order to acquire land and build this product again, you couldn't do it. So we're talking closer to $400 a square foot.
Theoretically double what you're selling these for?
Yes. And same, everything from the interior to the exterior is pretty comparable.
And land is hard to find. The developers are grabbing it up everywhere. Anything reasonable they can find. The land costs are going up, which is part of what's driving the prices.
Which is what I think we all feel is how Powell Beach will continue to grow, because it has the opportunity to expand. And as values continue to rise, that will open up some doors for some other folks.
It absolutely will. Well, thank you guys for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to have all of you here and on the air.
Well, thank you for having us.
Any parting thoughts for our lovely people listening?
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Tampa Home Talk. We appreciate you. We love you. And we're here to help you. If you'd like my help, or you'd like me to connect you with these guys or give you a tour of Bella Soul, give me a call. I actually sell real estate, 813-936-2302. Again, our off-air number is 813-936-2302. And Echo or Lisa will likely answer the phone if you call in, and they'll be happy to help you out. And all of our shows hop on over to a podcast. So you can catch all of our shows by searching Tampa Home Talk and get the live stream on the Facebook page for Tampa Home Talk. And we're here to serve you and really help you. And, it's interesting, Pat. So one of the people that won last week, I keep meaning to tell you this, and I wasn't sure if we're going to have time on air. Carmen, one of the winners, was a guy. And poor Carmen, the other one was Rob, and Rob didn't come because he thought he was going to be the only guy, and Carmen was there, and he was the only guy. And then Xenia was one of our winners, too, and I think her other half came out as well.
There you go.
And it was so fun, just to watch that. Mine's almost done. I'm slow, I think. I just have more work to do.
Did Mika show up? There was also Mika.
I don't know. If she did, she didn't introduce herself. So, Mika, you need to say hello next time. So we'll be out and about in the community again. We appreciate having you guys. Thanks for listening. Lisa, what's up next week? Who's our guest? Michelle Osborne is coming next week?
Oh.
Thank you. All right. So what we've been promising you, what Michelle's been talking about, what you want to do if you want to get out of those investment properties and have that make some money. Tune in next week at 9 a.m. and I'll be here with Darren Mish on Thursday at 9 a.m. as well for the IRS Solution Attorney Show. I'm glad they got the opening right today, Pat. And big thank you to Lisa Robbins for booking our guests and making all the magic happen behind the scenes. And Pat George is our producer. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, love where you live, or I'm going to fix it every single time. Have a great day.
The preceding program was paid for by Katrina Madewell. The views and opinions expressed on this program were those of Katrina Madewell and not those of Beasley Media Group, this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers.
Tampa Bay's business address is Money Talk 1010 AM and available on HD at 99.5 HD2. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Money Talk 1010 AM. Tampa Bay's business address.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
WHFS Sefner, WQYK FM HD2 St. Petersburg, 103.1 W276CX Newport Richey.